Imagine waking up one day to find that your wildest dreams have become your reality. The life you've always yearned for, the abundance, you've craved the love, you've longed for all of it manifested before your very eyes. What if I told you that this is not merely a fantasy, but a truth that lies dormant? Within you, waiting to be awake in the universe, is not some distant, unresponsive entity. It is a living, breathing force that is constantly listening to the whispers of your soul. And once you start asking the universe in the right way, with unwavering faith and conviction, your desires are not just hurt, but they're already done. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to effortlessly attract abundance, love, and success, while others struggle to make ends meet? The answer lies in the power of your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotions. They're all powerful frequencies that shape your reality. When you learn to harness this power, when you learn to communicate with the universe in its own language, you become the master of your own destiny. But here's the catch. Most people ask from a place of lack, from a place of doubt and fear. They beg and plead with the universe, hoping for scraps of mercy. But the universe does not respond to desperation. It responds to faith. It responds to the unshakable belief that what you desire is already yours. So how do you ask the universe in a way that guarantees results? How do you tap into the limitless abundance that is your birthright? The answer lies in the power of your imagination, love, assumption. And the inevitability of manifest your imagination is the creative force within you, the tool that allows you to shape your reality when you visualize your desires with vivid detail and unwavering faith. You are sending a powerful signal to the universe. You are telling it that what you desire has already done the law. Assumption states that whatever you assume to be true, the universe will make real. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, when you live in the end result of your desires, you are aligning yourself the frequency of abundance. You are telling the universe that you are ready to receive, that you are worthy of your dreams. And here's the best part. Once you start asking the universe, like this manifestation becomes inevitable, the universe will conspire to bring your desires to fruition, to align the people, circumstances, and events necessary to make your dreams a reality. All you need to do is trust the process, to let go of doubt and fear, and to maintain unwavering faith in the inevitability of your success. So my friends, I invite you to embrace this practice with every fiber of your being, to wake up each day with a sense of excitement and anticipation, knowing that your desires are on their way to cultivate a deep sense of gratitude for the blessings in your life, even before they have manifested, to surrender to the perfect timing and unfolding of the universe, trusting that everything is happening for your highest good. And above all, I invite you to remember the truth of who you are. You are not just a physical being confined to the limitations of this earthly realm. You are an infinite, eternal, powerful creator with the ability to shape your reality in any way you choose. Your divine spark of the universe itself is a unique expression of the infinite intelligence that pervades all things. As you go forth from this moment, carry this truth with you. Let it be your guiding light, your North Star, your unwavering conviction. Know that you are worthy of your desires, that you're capable of manifesting miracles, that you are loved and supported by the universe in every moment. And when challenges arise, when doubts creep in, when the journey seems long and uncertain, remember the words of the great mystic Rumi: what you seek is seeking you. Your desires are not some distant, unattainable fantasy. They are the very essence of your being, the call of your soul. Trust in their inevitability and let them guide you home. So my friends, go forth with faith, with conviction, with unwavering belief in the power of your dreams. Manifest miracles, create magic, and live a life beyond your wildest imagination. The universe is waiting for you, cheering you on, conspiring in your faith. All you have to do is say yes, yes to your desires. Yes to your dreams. Yes to the infinite possibility that lies within you. Yes to a life of joy, abundance, and limitless potential. Yes to the magic and miracles of the universe Now and always, thank you for joining me on this journey of manifestation. May your dreams take like, may your desires become reality, and may your life be a living testament to the power of your faith. The universe is yours, my friends. Claim it, own it, and let it lead you to a life beyond your wildest dreams. But every step along the bridge of incidents is necessary. Every challenge, every setback, every unexpected twist and turn is part of the divine plan. It's all leading you closer to your desires, even when it doesn't feel like it. The key to navigating the bridge of incidents is to trust the process, to surrender to the journey, even when you can't see the way forward, to have faith that the universe is conspiring in your favor, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. Trusting the process means letting go of your attachment to the outcome. It means releasing your grip on the how and when of manifestation and allowing the universe to guide you. It means being open to the unexpected, to the miracles and synchronicities that show up along the way. When you trust the process, you open yourself up to the magic of manifestation. You allow the universe to work its wonders to bring you what you desire in ways that are beyond your wildest dreams. You become a co-creator with the universe, a partner in the dance of manifestation. The trusting the process isn't always easy. It requires a deep level of faith, a willingness to surrender to the unknown. It requires you to let go of your need for control. You need to have everything figured out. It requires you to embrace the mystery, to trust that everything is unfolding in perfect divine timing. One way to cultivate trust in the process is through the practice of gratitude. Gratitude is the act of acknowledging and appreciating the blessings in your life even before your desires have manifested. When you practice gratitude, you shift your focus from lack to abundance, from scarcity to sufficiency. You train your mind to see the good in every situation. To find the silver lining in every cloud, gratitude is also a powerful way to align yourself with the vibration of your desires. When you feel grateful for what you want, even before it is manifested, you are sending a clear signal to the universe that you are ready to receive your gift. You are telling the universe that you trust in its abundance. Way to cultivate trust in the process is through the practice of surrender. Surrender is the act of letting go of your attachment to the outcome of releasing your need to control every aspect of your life. When you surrender, you are not giving up on your desires. You are giving them over to a higher power, to the infinite wisdom of the universe. Surrender requires a deep level of trust, the willingness to let go and allow the universe to guide you. It means being open to the unexpected, to the twists and turns. Along the bridge of incidents, it means trusting that everything is happening for your highest good. Even when it doesn't make sense in the moment, when you cultivate trust, in the process, when you practice gratitude and surrender, manifestation becomes effortless. Your desires flow to you with ease and grace, and your life becomes a living testament to the power of your faith. You become a magnet for miracles, conduit for the abundance of the universe as we come to the end of this journey. I want to remind you of the incredible power that lies within you. The power to create your reality, to manifest your deepest desires, to live a life beyond your wildest dreams. This power is not some distance unattainable, for it is the very essence of who you are. It is the birthright of every human being on this planet. Throughout this speech, we've explored the key principles manifest and the power of imagination, the law of assumption, the art of asking. We've discovered that the universe is not some separate entity, but a live, breathing extension of our own consciousness, that our thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions create our reality. And that by aligning ourselves with the vibration of our desires, we can manifest miracles on demand. But the journey of manifestation is not a one-time event, it is a lifelong practice. It requires a daily commitment to aligning your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with the reality you want to create. It requires a willingness to let go of limiting beliefs, to embrace the unknown, to trust in the perfect timing of the universe. And yet, the rewards of this practice are beyond measure when you live from a place of faith and conviction, when you trust in the inevitability of your desires. Your life becomes a living testament to the power of manifestation. You attract people, circumstances, and opportunities that support your vision. You experience a level of joy, abundance, and fulfillment that most people only dream of. Conviction is the unshakable belief in the truth of your desires, is the inner knowing that what you want is already yours, that it's your divine right to experience abundance, love. When you ask with conviction, you are not just making a request, you are making a command. You are telling the universe that this is what you expect, that this is what you demand. You are not asking for permission. You are claiming your birthright. But conviction isn't just about the words you speak. It's about the energy. Behind those words, it's about the feeling of certainty, of unwavering faith that infuses every cell of your being. When you ask with conviction, you're not just speaking your desires. You're becoming the vibrational much for what you want to experience. The third step in the art of asking is to let go of doubt and fear. Doubt and fear are the enemies of manifestation. They are the voices in your head that tell you it's not possible, that you're not worthy, that you'll never have what you want. They are the limiting beliefs that keep you stuck in a cycle of lack and limitations. But here's the thing, doubt and fear are just thoughts. They're not the truth of who you are. You have the power to choose your thoughts, to choose your beliefs, to choose your assumptions. When you let go of doubt and fear, you create space for faith and conviction to take root. One powerful way to let go of doubt and fears through the practice of surrender. Surrender is the act of releasing your attachment to the outcome, of trusting that the universe has your back. Even when you can't see the way forward, when you surrender, you're not giving up on your desires, giving them to a higher power, to the infinite wisdom of the universe. Surrender requires a deep level of trust, a willingness to let go of control and allow the universe to guide you. It requires you to release your grip on the how and when of manifestation and to trust that everything is unfolding in perfect divine timing. The final step in the art of asking is to align your thoughts and actions with your desires. Manifestation is not just about asking, it's about becoming coming. It's about aligning every aspect of your being with the reality you want to create. This means thinking thoughts that match your desires, speaking words that affirm your worth, abundance, and taking actions that move you closer to your goals. It means living as if your desires are already a reality even before they manifest in your physical world. When you align your thoughts and actions with your desires, you become a magnet for miracles. You attract people, circumstances, opportunities that support your vision. You create a life that is a living testament to the power of your faith and conviction. So my friends, I invite you to master the art of asking. Ask with faith, with conviction, and with unwavering belief in the truth of your desires. Let go of without and feared and surrender to the perfect timing and unfolding of the universe. Align your thoughts and actions with your desires and become the vibrational match for the reality you want to create. When you do, miracles become commonplace. The universe conspires to bring your desires into manifest. Life becomes a living testament to the power of your asking. Master the art of asking and watch as your wildest dreams become your everyday reality. When you master the art of asking, when you align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with the reality of your desires, manifestation becomes inevitable. It's not a question of if your desires will manifest, but when the universe is always listening, always responding to the vibration you are offering, and when you offer a vibration of faith, conviction, and unwavering belief, the universe has no choice but to deliver. But how exactly does manifestation work? How does the universe take your desires and turn them into physical reality? The answer lies in the concept of the bridge of incidents. The bridge of incidents is the series of events, people, and circumstances that the universe orchestrates to bring your desires into manifestation. It's the way the universe connects the dots, aligns the pieces of the puzzle, and creates the perfect conditions for your desires to come to fruition. When you ask for something, the universe immediately begins to arrange the bridge of incidents. It starts to move people and circumstances into place to create opportunities and open doors that will lead you to your desired out. It's like a cosm game of dominoes where each piece falls perfectly into place, creating a chain reaction of manifestation. But here's the thing. The bridge of incidents doesn't always look the way you expect it to sometimes. It takes you on a journey that seems unrelated to your desires. Sometimes it brings you challenges and obstacles that you must overcome. Sometimes it requires you to take leaps of faith and trust in the unknown. No. Hoping, wishing, or striving for your desire. Instead, you're living as if they're already a reality, as if they have already manifested in your life. This is a subtle but profound shift in consciousness. Most people spend their lives in a state of wanting a feeling like they're lacking something they believe that they will be happy when they finally achieve their goals, when they finally manifest their desires. But the truth is that state of wanting only perpetuates more wanting. It keeps you stuck in a cycle of lack and limitation. The law of assumption you to break free from that cycle, to step into the reality of your desires right now. It invites you to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, to embody the energy of abundance, love, and success, even before it shows up in your physical reality. So how to do that? You live in the end. Even when your current circumstances don't match your desired reality, the key is persistence. It's about maintaining the state of your wish fulfillment, even in the face of doubts, fear, or setbacks. When you first start practicing the law of assumption, it can feel uncomfortable, even delusional. Your mind will try to convince you that it's not real, that you're just fooling yourself. But the more you persist in maintaining the state of your wish fulfilled, the more natural it becomes. You start to see evidence of your desire manifesting in your life, and your faith grows stronger. One powerful way to maintain the state of yours fulfilled is through affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself either out loud or silently that reinforce your desired reality. For example, if your desire is to manifest financial abundance, you might repeat affirmations like, I am a magnet for money. Abundance flows to me easily and effortlessly. I'm worthy of all the wealth and prosperity I desire. By repeating these affirmations consistently, you are reprogrammed in your subconscious mind to align with the reality of your desires. You're shifting your assumptions, your beliefs, and your inner conversations to match the frequency of abundance. Another way to maintain the state of your wish fulfilled. Visualization, as we discussed earlier. Visualization is a powerful tool for engaging your imagination and aligning yourself with the frequency of your desires. When you visualize your desired reality with vivid detail and emotion, you are sending a clear signal to the universe that this is what you want to experience. But the key to effective visualization is to engage all of your senses, not just your visual sense imagined, not just what your desired reality looks like or what it feels like, smells like, tastes like, and sounds like. The more fully you engage your senses, the more real your visualization becomes to your subconscious mind. The law of assumption is not just a tool for manifestation. It is a way of being. When you live from a place of assumption, you are no longer a victim of your circumstances. You become the creator of your reality, master of your destiny. You recognize that your assumptions, your beliefs, and your inner conversations have the power to shape your experience of life. And you choose to align them with the reality of your desires. Now that we've explored the power of imagination and the law of assumption, let's dive into the art of asking. Asking is the bridge between your desires and their manifestation. It's the way you communicate with the universe, the way you declare your intentions, and set the wheels of creation in motion. But here's the thing. Most people don't know how to ask. They ask from a place of lack of desperation or fear. They beg and plead with the universe, hoping for scraps of mercy. But the universe doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to faith. It responds to the unwavering conviction that what you desire is already your soul. How do you ask in a way that guarantees results? The first step is to ask with faith. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. When you ask with faith, you're not hoping or wishing for your desires to manifest. You are declaring that they are already done. You are aligning yourself with the reality of your desires even before they show up in your physical world. This kind of faith requires a deep trust in the universe and knowing that your desires are not just possible but inevitable. It requires you to release your attachment to the how and when of manifestation and to surrender to the perfect timing and unfolding of the universe. The second step in the art of asking is to ask with conviction. So my friends, are you ready to have your world turned upside down? Are you ready to experience the limitless abundance that is your birthright? Then join me on this journey of manifestation as we explore the art of asking the universe in a way that guarantees results your wildest dreams are about to become your everyday reality. The power of your imagination is the key to unlocking the limitless potential within you. It is the creative force that allows you to shape your reality, to bring your desires into manifestation. When you harness the power of your imagination, you become the architect of your own destiny. But what exactly is imagination? And how does it work? Imagination is the ability to create mental images to visualize scenarios and possibilities that don't yet exist in the physical world. It is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, the link between the infinite potential of the universe and the tangible reality of your life. When you imagine something with vivid detail and unwavering faith, you're sending a powerful signal to the universe. You are telling it that what you desire is already done, that it is already yours. The universe doesn't distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply responds to the frequency of your thoughts and emotions. So how do you cultivate the power of your imagination? The first step is to get clear on what you truly desire. What does your ideal life look like? What kind of relationships, experiences, and abundance? Do you want to attract the most specific and detailed your vision? The more powerful your imagination becomes once you have a clear vision. The next step is to engage your senses. Imagine not just the visual aspects of your desire, but the sounds, smells, tastes, and textures as well. The more fully you engage your senses, the more real your imagination becomes to your subconscious mind. For example, if your desire is to manifest your dream home, imagine yourself walking through front door, feel the texture of the doorknob in your hand, the sensation, the floor beneath your feet, the aroma of your favorite scent wafting through the air. Hear the laughter and conversation of your loved ones echoing through the rooms. The more vividly you imagine, the more powerfully you align yourself with the frequency of your desire. But the power of imagination goes beyond just visualizing your desires. It also involves assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled. In other words, it means living as if your desires are already a reality even before they manifest in the physical world. This is where the law of assumption comes into play. The law of assumption states that whatever you assume to be true, the universe will make real when you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. You are aligning yourself with the frequency of abundance, love, and success. You are telling the universe that you are ready to receive, that you are worthy of your dream. So how do you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled? One powerful technique is to practice gratitude in advance instead of waiting for your desires to manifest before you. Feel grateful, start expressing gratitude. Now, for what you know is on its way, say things like, "Thank you, universe, for my dream home. I am so grateful to wake up every morning in a space that fills me with joy and inspiration." By expressing gratitude in advance, you are aligning yourself with the frequency of abundance and attracting more what you desire. Another technique is to act as if your desire is already a reality. If your desire is to manifest a loving relationship, start treating yourself with the love and respect you desire from a partner. Take yourself on dates, buy yourself flowers, and speak kindly to yourself in the mirror by embodying the energy of love. You attract more love into your life. The power of imagination is not just a tool for manifestation, it is a way of life. When you live from a place of imagination, you open yourself up to infinite possibilities. You become a magnet for American conduit for the limitless abundance of the universe. The law of assumption is a powerful principle that can transform your life in ways you never thought possible. It states that whatever you assume to be true, the universe will make real. In other words, your assumptions create your reality. Think about that for a moment. Your assumptions, your beliefs, your inner conversations, they all have the power to shape your experience of life. When you assume that you are worthy of love and abundance, the universe responds by bringing more love and abundance into your life. When you assume that you are capable of achieving your dreams, the universe comes to make those dreams a reality. But the law of assumption goes even deeper, that it's not just about assuming positive things, it's about living in the end, about embodying the feeling of your wish fulfilled when you live in the end.
The word impossible. What does it truly mean? In your current understanding, it might represent a barrier, a limit to what can be achieved. But I say unto you, the impossible is merely that which has not yet been imagined into being. It is a temporary state waiting to be transformed by the power of your consciousness. But what does it truly mean to repeat something 10 times? And how can this simple act manifest even the impossible? It is not a matter of mere repetition of positive thinking. It is as a state of consciousness, a shift in your very being that aligns you with the creative power of the universe. It is about recognizing that your inner dialogue, your self-talk, is the very foundation upon which your reality is built. Let us delve deeper into this profound truth. Your outer world, every experience you have, every circumstance you encounter, is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world, your consciousness. It is a mirror faithfully reflecting back to you the sum total of your beliefs, assumptions, and most importantly, your inner conversations. When you understand this, truly understand it, you realize that by carefully choosing and consistently repeating certain statements, even those that seem impossible, you are actively creating a new reality that will unfold in your experience. This understanding is crucial, for it shifts the entire paradigm of how you approach the impossible. No longer are you a helpless being at the mercy of external circumstances, hoping for favorable conditions. You become the active creator of your reality, knowing that as you repeat your chosen statement 10 times with feeling and conviction, the universe must rearrange itself to match this new inner assumption. But how, you may ask, can mere repetition have such a profound and lasting impact? The answer lies in the creative power of your wonderful human imagination, combined with the intensity of your feeling and belief. For your imagination is not a mere fantasy maker, and your feelings are not mere reactions to external stimuli. Together they form the very workshop in which reality is forged. Let us take a moment to truly understand this. Your subconscious mind, which is one with the universal creative force, does not distinguish between what you vividly imagine and feel as truly and what you actually experience in the outer world. It accepts as true whatever you feel to be true in your inner conversations, and once it accepts an idea as true, it proceeds to bring it into manifestation in your physical reality, regardless of how long it takes in plot time, or how impossible it may seem to your rational mind. So when you repeat a statement 10 times, especially one that seems impossible, you are not engaging in wishful thinking or self-deception. You are actively creating your new reality from within. You are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe, allowing it to work through you and for you to manifest even the seemingly impossible. This, my dear listeners, is the essence of the power of repetition. It is about recognizing that the power to shape your reality lies within you, waiting to express through your conscious inner dialogue. It is about understanding that your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner conversations, which can be radically altered by consistently repeating chosen statements, even those that currently seem impossible. Consider the biblical phrase, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." This is not a mere poetic expression or a vague spiritual concept. It is a statement of cosmic law, an invitation to recognize the power of your inner dialogue. When you repeat a statement times, especially one that seems impossible, you are thinking it in your heart. You are feeling its reality with every fiber of your being, and in that moment you are changed. The outer manifestation may take time to catch up, but the inner transformation is instantaneous. But let me be clear, repeating a statement 10 times is not about forced repetition or strained affirmations. It is about a total immersion in the feeling of the wish, fulfilled of the impossible becoming possible. When you truly embody this practice, you naturally assume the thoughts, feelings, and inner conversations of the person who lives in the reality where the impossible has become possible. You go to sleep not as the person bound by current limitations, but as the person who has already experienced the manifestation of the impossible. Let us explore this further with an example. Imagine a person who desires to manifest something that seems utterly impossible, perhaps healing from an incurable disease or achieving a seemingly unattainable goal. Their outer reality shows no signs of this possibility. Now imagine this person deciding to repeat the statement, "Even the impossible is possible for me," 10 times with complete conviction and feeling. As they do so, they immerse themselves in the feeling of this statement being true. They feel the joy, the wonder, the gratitude of living in a world where even the impossible manifests for them. They allow this feeling to permeate every cell of their being. They repeat this statement not just with their lips, but with their entire consciousness. When they awaken, something has shifted. They may not see immediate external changes in their circumstances, but internally they are no longer the same person. They have experienced the reality of a world where the impossible becomes possible, and this new self-concept begins to reshape their outer world. In the days and weeks that follow, they find themselves naturally acting with more confidence and expectancy. They approach challenges with a newfound sense of possibility. They make decisions and take actions aligned with their new assumption that even the impossible will manifest for them. And as they do so, their outer world begins to reflect this new inner state. Opportunities arise that they never would have noticed before. Solutions appear to problems that once seemed insurmountable. Their entire life begins to transform, all stemming from the simple act of repeating a powerful statement 10 times. This principle applies to every aspect of your life. Whether you desire to manifest health, wealth, love, or any other state of being that currently seems impossible, the key is to first assume it as true in your inner dialogue. Repeat the statement that aligns with your desire 10 times, feeling the reality of it being true. Fall asleep in that state, knowing that as you do so, you are planting a seed in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind that must grow into your outer reality. Now I can hear some of you thinking, but Wayne, can simply repeating a statement 10 times really make such a difference? Surely manifesting the impossible requires more than that. And to this I say it is not the mere repetition of words that creates the change, but the shift in consciousness that occurs when you repeat a statement with feeling and conviction. The repetition is a tool to impress upon your subconscious mind a new assumption, a new truth about the nature of your reality. Remember, the outer world is dead. It has no life of its own. It is your consciousness that gives life to your experiences. When you repeat statements that align with your current limitations, you are breathing life into a reality that perpetuates those limitations. But when you consciously choose to repeat statements that align with the manifestation of the impossible, you set in motion a series of events that must culminate in the outer expression of this new inner reality. This, my dear friends, is the true secret to manifesting even the impossible. It is about aligning your inner dialogue with the highest vision of yourself and your life, recognizing that this desired reality is seeking expression through you and allowing it to flow into your experience through the power of your repeated statements and unwavering belief. But let me warn you, this shift in consciousness, this practice of repeating powerful statements 10 times is not always an easy task. The old habits of negative self-talk, of repeating limiting beliefs, are deeply ingrained in our collective consciousness. As you embark on this new way of thinking and speaking to yourself, you may find resistance arising within you. Doubts may creep in. Old thought patterns may try to reassert themselves. When this happens, do not fight against these thoughts and feelings. Simply observe them, acknowledge them, and then gently return to your chosen statement, repeating it again with renewed conviction. For the war is not won by battling against what you don't want, but by persistently embodying what you do want. This persistence, this unwavering commitment, repeating your chosen statement 10 times, even in the face of contrary evidence, is what allows you to truly manifest the impossible. Think of it like tuning a radio. When you're trying to listen to a particular station, you don't focus on eliminating all the other stations. You simply tune into the frequency you desire. In the same way, you don't need to fight against your current reality or forcefully push away thoughts of impossibility. You simply need to tune yourself to the frequency of possibility to align your entire consciousness with the reality where even the impossible manifests for you. This tuning is done through your repeated statements and your ability to generate feeling states. Your inner dialogue is the dial that allows you to tune into different frequencies of experience. As you repeat your chosen statement times, as you feel the reality of it being true, you are tuning yourself to that frequency, allowing the corresponding experiences to flow into your life. But remember, my friends, this is not a one-time event. Repeating your chosen statement times is a practice, a way of life. It's a constant choice to maintain this new inner dialogue, regardless of appearances. Just as you wouldn't expect to stay in shape by exercising once, you cannot expect to manifest the impossible by repeating a statement once. This is about persistently aligning your inner conversations with your desire of reality, about maintaining this consciousness day in and day out until it becomes your new normal. As you do this, you will find that your perception of what is possible begins to shift. What once seemed impossible now appears as a natural unfolding of events. Challenges become opportunities for growth. You begin to see yourself as the empowered being you truly are, knowing that your inner art is constantly shaping your reality. Now, some of you may be wondering, but Wayne, how can I maintain this practice of repeating my chosen statement times when my current reality seems unchanged? How can I persist in feeling its truth when circumstances seem to contradict it? And to this I say, your imagination infused with feeling is more powerful than any circumstance. Consider for a moment, have you ever been deeply moved by a story, whether in a book or a movie? In those moments, were you not feeling real emotions based on imaginary events? Your feelings were real. Even though the events were not happening in your physical reality, this is the power you must harness when you repeat your chosen statement 10 times. You must use your imagination to create scenarios that evoke the feelings associated with your statement being true. Imagine how you would feel if the impossible had already manifested for you. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the sense of wonder that would come with this reality. Feel these states as vividly and as consistently as you can as you repeat your statement. The key is to make your repetition as real to you as possible. Engage all your senses. Feel the textures associated with your desire fulfilled. Hear the sounds, smell the scents, taste the flavors. See the world through the eyes of the person who lives in the reality where the impossible has become possible. Make it so real that your rational mind cannot distinguish between this inner experience and physical reality. But here's a crucial point, my friends. The goal is not to repeat statements about specific events or circumstances. The goal is to capture the essence of the feeling state associated with living in a world where even the impossible manifests for you. For it is this feeling state that is the true attractor of your experiences. Let me illustrate this with an example. Instead of repeating, "I will win the lottery 10 times," capture the feeling essence of living in a world of unlimited abundance. Repeat, "I live in a world of infinite possibilities and abundance 10 times." Feel the security, the freedom, the joy that comes with this state. See yourself moving through life with the ease and confidence of someone who knows that even the impossible will manifest for them. By focusing on the feeling essence rather than specific outcomes, you allow the universe to bring your desire to you in ways that might far exceed your specific imaginings. You open yourself to possibilities beyond what your current mindset can conceive. This is the true art of manifesting the impossible through repetition. It's not about forcing yourself to believe something against all evidence. It's about aligning yourself with the truth of your divine nature, your oneness with the creative power of the universe. It's about repeating statements that resonate with the highest vision of who you truly are and what is possible for you. As you practice this, you may find that your outer world begins to shift in subtle ways. Perhaps you start to notice more synchronicity in your life, or you find yourself naturally making choices that align with your new assumption of possibility, or opportunities that once seemed impossible begin to present themselves. These are all signs that your inner shift brought about by your repeated statements is creating ripples in your outer reality. Don't discount these small changes. Celebrate them. See them as confirmation that the law is working, that your repeated statements are taking root. But don't become attached to them or anxiously look for them. Simply acknowledge them with gratitude and continue to repeat your chosen statement with conviction. As you persist in this practice, larger changes will begin to manifest. You may find yourself naturally attracting experiences that align with your new assumption of possibility. You may notice that challenges which once seemed insurmountable are now easily overcome. You may achieve goals you once thought impossible with an ease that feels miraculously. And as you continue to repeat your chosen statement 10 times each day, you'll discover that life becomes an exciting adventure of ever-expanding possibility. But remember, the outer manifestation is not the goal. The goal is the state of consciousness from which all desired experiences naturally flow. This is a crucial point, my friends. When you're truly embodying the state where even the impossible manifests for you, when you're fully living from this consciousness, You no longer need external circumstances to confirm your state. You're already whole, already complete in your knowing that you live in a world of infinite possibility. And paradoxically, it's in this state of inner assurance that you're most likely to experience a life where the impossible becomes possible. Now, some of you might be thinking, but never, what about action? Don't we need to do things in the physical world to manifest the impossible? And to this I say, yes, action is part of the process. But it's inspired action, not anxious doing. When you're consistently repeating your chosen statement 10 times each day, living from the consciousness of possibility, ideas and opportunities will naturally present themselves to you. You'll feel inspired to take certain actions, to move in certain directions. These actions won't feel like struggle or effort. They'll feel natural, joyful, almost effortless. This is the difference between trying to make the impossible happen and allowing it to happen. When you're trying to force manifestation, actions feel stressful, born out of fear and doubt. When you're living from the consciousness of possibility, actions flow naturally from your aligned state, guided by an inner wisdom that knows exactly how to bring about the manifestation of even the seemingly impossible. Consider the example of a seed growing into a mighty oak tree. The seed doesn't strain to become a tree. It doesn't force itself to grow. It simply unfolds naturally, expressing its innate potential. You, my dear listeners, are no different. When you align yourself with the consciousness of possibility through your repeated statements, you allow your life to unfold naturally and beautifully, expressing the inside potential that is your birthright. But let me be clear, this state of allowing is not passive. It requires an active use of your imagination, a deliberate and focused repetition of your chosen statement. It requires faith, not blind faith in external circumstances, but faith in the creative power of your consciousness and your ability to manifest even the impossible through your inner dialogue. This faith is not about believing that the impossible will become possible someday in the future. It's about knowing that you live in a world of infinite possibility now, in this very moment, and that your outer world must inevitably conform to this new inner reality. As you cultivate this faith, as you persist in repeating your chosen statement 10 times each day, you'll begin to see evidence of the impossible becoming possible in your outer world. These signs may start small: an unexpected solution to a problem, a chance encounter that leads to a breakthrough, a sudden insight that changes everything. Do not discount these signs, no matter how small they may seem, for they are confirmation that your inner world, shaped by these statements, is indeed shaping your outer reality. They are breadcrumbs leading you to the full realization of a life where even the impossible manifests for you. As we near the conclusion of our discussion, I want to address a common concern that arises when people first encounter this teaching. Many worry that focusing on repeating statements about the impossible becoming possible somehow disconnect them from reality or lead to disappointment. But I assure you, my friends, the opposite is true. When you truly understand the principle of manifesting through repetition, you realize that you are not separate from reality. You are the creator of your reality. As you elate your own consciousness by repeating powerful statements, you are elevating the consciousness of all. Your personal transformation, far from disconnecting you from reality, actually expands the field of possibilities for all. Moreover, when you are coming from a place of knowing that even the impossible will manifest for you, you naturally have more to give to others. You become a beacon of possibility, a living example of the power of consciousness to reshape reality. Your transformation creates a ripple effect, touching the lives of everyone you encounter with your newfound energy, confidence, and sense of infinite possibility. This is the true gift of repeating powerful statements and manifesting the impossible. It's not just about improving your individual circumstances, although that will happen. It's about aligning yourself with the fundamental nature of the universe, which is boundless potential. It's about recognizing your own divine nature and allowing it to express itself fully through you. In this state of alignment, of consistently repeating your chosen statement 10 times each day, you become a channel for the most beautiful expressions of life. Ideas flow to you effortlessly. Opportunities present themselves naturally. The right people and circumstances appear in your life at the perfect time. This is the magic of living from the consciousness of infinite possibility. But remember, this magic is not something external to you. It's not some cosmic force that you need to appease or manipulate. It is the natural expression of your own consciousness, where it's aligned with the truth of your being. You are the power. You are the magic. You are the one who makes the impossible possible through your repeated statements and unwavering belief. As we draw our time together to a close, I want to leave you with a final thought. The principle we've explored tonight, repeat this 10 times, even the impossible will manifest for you, is not just a technique. It's about recognizing your true nature as a divine creative being. It's about aligning your entire being with the fundamental truth of who you are and allowing your grandest expression to flow through you. When you live from this understanding, everything changes. The world becomes a friendly place filled with infinite possibilities. You no longer see yourself as a small, separate being struggling against impossible odds. Instead, you recognize yourself as the author of your own reality, the creator of your own miraculous life. In this state, there's no need to fear the impossible or doubt your ability to manifest your deepest desires, for you understand that you are the source of all creation in your experience. Your job is simply to maintain the consciousness of possibility through your repeated statements, to live from this awareness, and to allow the universe to erase the details of its manifestation. So, my dear friends, as you leave here tonight, I urge you to embrace this principle with all your heart. Don't see it as a technique to be applied occasionally, but as a way of life to be lived continuously. Choose your statement wisely, one that embodies the essence of the impossible becoming possible for you. Repeat it 10 times each day, not just with your lips, but with your entire being. Feel the naturalness of being the divine, limitless being you truly are. Live from this state, persist in this knowing, and watch as your world rearranges itself to match your own vision, making even the impossible manifest before your eyes.
So I was finishing up the function run, and I saw a couple that I recognized over the years, and there was a woman, and she was having difficulty with her luggage, and I just said to her, "Oh, here, let me help you with that." And she gave me a real harsh look and said, "No, I don't want any help." And I said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Because one of her suitcases, she had two suitcases, and one was going one direction and the other." I said, "Here, let me help you with that." "I don't want any help from you, especially from you." And it gave me that real harsh.
Wow.
Okay. So this happened an hour ago. And so it's like, and I have no idea what prompted. This is just someone I've just seen around the place where I live once in a while. It's a building where a lot of people live. And so the reason I bring it up is because at the moment that something like this occurs, when you encounter, someone who's hostile towards you, or who's sending you an ugly message, or there's any number of endless reasons about why that might be taking place. It might have to do with something that I did or said or whatever that I'm not even aware of. It might have something to do with something that's going on in this person's life at this particular time. It could be her husband was walking with her, and he said, "Don't take that personally." And I was thinking about the Four Agreements. Have you ever read the Four Agreements?
Sure, Don Miguel.
Yeah, do you remember
It's a
which
classic.
one I'm speaking about? Which one of those agreements? He said,
I don't know.
I don't want to give you a test here on the air. But one of the agreements was, don't take anything personally, And I was just thinking about what Don Miguel had said in that book about not taking things personally, because so often when we encounter someone who's what we might consider rude or unpleasant or unhappy or whatever it is, the first thing that we want to do is just take it personally, say, she has no right to talk to me like that, and how dare you, and I'm going to get in, I'm going to find out what's going on, and or whatever it might, or just go around in a morose kind of way. And it's like, it's what I'm talking about, even when I'm talking about watching that movie and being a different person watching that movie, or reading the life and teachings of the Masters of the Far East 25 years after I purchased it, and having it have something totally new for me. And my reaction to this woman talking in this fashion to me just an hour ago or so was very different than it was even for me even a decade or so, or maybe even a few months ago, before I immersed myself in preparation for this seminar that I'm going to be doing on the 24th and 25th of this month, called I Am Light. That I reminded myself that I am light, and that when you have a choice to be right or to be kind, that it's really important to be able to choose kind. And so rather than being right and saying, well, how dare anybody talk to me like that? And I have, I didn't do anything to her, and she's just, instead my immediate reaction was to push that kind of, subconscious mind training that I've had, over the years, to react with hostility or hurt or pain or frustration or whatever whenever you encounter what you might consider to be unpleasant or rude behavior in something, is to come from a place of kindness. And I was just thinking to myself how happy I was in the last hour that I didn't walk around wondering and being hurt by and being upset, but instead was just thinking about this woman and just trying to send her as much love as I possibly can, and hope that whatever it is that would motivate her to react in that way to an attempted act of kindness, that it gets soothed and it gets happy, that she becomes happy. And I think if I send energy to her, that would be... it just represents a kind of growth thing for me as a person, and if we can, as I speak to all of you out there all over the world, when you encounter any kind of behavior, that don't be one of those kind of people who's looking for an occasion to be offended, and consequently then be emotionally upset, and then consequently attract more of what you don't want in your life. And I think that's the essence of what Abraham was speaking to me about in this new product that we have, this book and DVD and CD called Co-Creating at Its Best, that you want the law of attraction is always working. And if you put your thoughts on what you don't like or what you're unhappy about or what makes you angry, then you're going to align with an energy that is going to offer you experiences that match up to exactly what it is that you're thinking, so that every moment of your life, regardless of what it is that's coming at you, you have a choice. And this woman, for me, was a great reminder that I'm growing, and that I can be applying this not just in this kind of an event, but I can be applying it in all kinds of places all over my world, including all of the negativity and things that are taking place. For example, what is taking place in Paris over the weekend at the satirical, at Charlie Hebdo, is that how you say it?
Hebdo.
And what was going on, and to not fill my heart and my head with all kinds of antipathy and vituperative thoughts about all the Muslims in the world and being angry at them, as I'm hearing so many people, and instead just working at we're never going to solve these problems of anger and hostility, which in a personal way show up in the event that I had when trying to help a woman with her luggage, but when they're extended into a larger and larger perspective, and the solution is going to be in finding a place where all of us can send love, where our hearts are so filled with rage and hate towards so many people.
How you process and perceive yourself is determined not by what other people tell you, as much as you'd like to believe that, but in fact by how you have chosen to process yourself. And what you want to learn how to do right off the bat, at the very beginning, is to understand that disliking yourself or experiencing self-rejection or putting yourself down or finding fault with yourself or looking at your body and telling yourself all the things about it that you don't like. Like you may be too tall, you might tell yourself that you're too short, you might tell yourself that you're too heavy, that you're too light, that you're any number of things, and you can go through every organ in your body. And some people do this very thing and find all kinds of reasons why they don't like this, they don't like that, they don't like the size of their legs, they don't like the size of their breasts, they don't like the way their hair is, they don't like their eyes, they don't like their ears, their nose is too big. It's an endless. And this is like a burden that you place on yourself in your life, and it's something that you want to really begin to process in a different way. And a way to process it is to say, what do I get out of this? What's the point in me disliking myself or finding fault with myself? It's the only self I have. Instead of doing that and keeping myself miserable, what I'm going to do is look in the mirror and say to myself, this is the body that I have shown up in, for whatever reason, whether it was my plan, or whether it was God's plan, whether it was my parents' plan, whether it was a conspiracy, whatever, it is still the reality. And I am going to accept the reality of what I have shown up in and see it as my curriculum to a higher place. The body that you're in, whether it's in a wheelchair, whether it's blind, whether it's deaf, whether it's tall, whether it's short or black, white, whatever it may be, it is still your curriculum. It's what you have to use to get to the highest place that you want to be in your life. So rejecting it is really rejecting your entire life curriculum. And you have to really look at the whole idea of, in our culture, it's almost, I think I have been asked the question on talk shows across America more about this particular subject than anything else. And the question is, isn't it selfish? Aren't you promoting selfishness? Aren't you telling people that they should love themselves and reject all other people and so on? And I'd like to put that to rest right here. The first thing you have to ask yourself is, what does it mean to be selfish? To be selfish is to be a burden to another human being. Whenever you find yourself a burden to somebody else or someone else is a burden to you, that is a very selfish act. The person who dislikes himself, believe it or not, is the biggest burden to be around in the world. This is someone who is never happy, doesn't know how to make themselves happy, is using other people to try to get them to be happy, is always blaming other people for the conditions of their life. The person who has self-doubt or self-rejection doesn't know how to enjoy their life. And being around a person who doesn't enjoy their life is burdensome. The person who does love themselves, who feels good about themselves, who, if you ask the question, do you love yourself, there's not even an issue there. There's not even a question involved. It's simply, of course I do. This is me. This is all I have. Of course I love myself. Why wouldn't I? Why would I ever put myself down? It has nothing to do with being conceited or finding fault with other people or making yourself better than anybody else. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the simple notion that in order for me to be happy, I have to love myself. In order to be able to be free from being a burden to somebody else, I have to know how to enjoy my life. If I know how to enjoy my life, it means that I am loving the life that I'm having, and that means I'm loving the body that I'm in. I'm loving the self that I am. And therefore, you will not be a burden to anybody else. The person who loves themselves is never a burden to anyone else unless it's conceit. And conceit is just another form of trying to get other people to pay more attention to you. But if it's just authentic self-acceptance, then it is the most important thing that you can do. And in raising children, nothing is more important in the whole educational environment than self-concept, self-esteem. This is what we're trying to teach all the time to young people, is feel good about yourself. Treat yourself, cherish yourself as a valuable, important, significant, grand, divine creature, as someone who is unique and special in all the world. And feel that way about yourself wherever you go, and carry yourself that way. So you have to say to yourself, they didn't do it to me. I allowed it to happen, and I am no longer willing to allow myself to be immobilized by the rejection that other people or other events or other institutions or whatever it may be may have attempted to impose on me. So what you want to do at this point is if you can see that there are areas of your life in which you are self-rejecting and identify them and make a commitment to changing them, then you can come up with some specific things that you can do about it. You can begin to discipline yourself to select new responses to others' attempts at making you feel good. When someone says to you, gee, you look really nice today, you can practice, instead of that immediate self-rejecting kind of, oh, it really isn't me, or this is my hairdresser, or whatever, you can just, a very simple thank you, or it's nice to know that you appreciate me. Just, even if you don't mean it. I mean, sometimes you have to fake it, but faking it is all right, as long as you are practicing a kind of, hey, if someone says to me I look nice, or that I smell good, or that I look nice in this outfit, or that I look younger than I am, or whatever, I'm entitled to that. I'm entitled to a compliment. I'm worth that. You can practice saying things like, I love you, and check out when someone says that back to you, how do you react to that? What is your reaction to that? And accept the I love yous and the caresses and the affection that other people are directing at you as something that is directed towards someone who deserves that, rather than always doubting it and saying, oh, I wonder if he really does that, or I wonder if she really means it, or and all of the doubting kind of things. Of course you would love me. Your attitude, your inner conversation goes, of course you would love me. I'm worth being loved. I'm a valuable person.
Here are a few ideas for putting peace in your life permanently. Thinking of yourself as a peaceful person is the first step, but it is only the first step. The thought must translate into action in order for you to know peace. Work at curbing your inclination to create confrontation and disruption in the lives of others. A simple practice of pausing and asking yourself whether your ego, which loves turmoil, or your higher self, which loves peace, is about to act. That pause will help you to send out a peaceful response, even in situations where you are feeling impatient or misunderstood. In those situations, you will be able to state simply, for example, you are really having a rough day, to a hassled clerk, rather than, I've been waiting for 15 minutes already and I'm really feeling abused. Send out peace by catching yourself and then consulting your loving presence for a response, rather than relying on your ego. Practice releasing the emotions of fear and guilt and replacing them with love and forgiveness and kindness. Release the guilt by forgiving yourself and vowing to avoid that kind of conduct in the future. You do not need the guilt unless you're going to allow your ego to continue its dominance over your life forever. For example, make a list of all the things that keep you from loving yourself. Your list might include being overweight and jealous or nervous or addicted or incompetent or uncoordinated. Then, regardless of how much effort it takes, reverse your mental sentences and state that you love yourself while being fat, while being addicted, and so on. This will help you to feel peaceful about the choices you've made and to realize that you are not that body or those desires. You are the invisible chooser. As you become more peaceful with the chooser, you will begin to replace the unhealthy choice in a spirit of love. Examine everything that offends you and see if you can get your ego out of the picture. If hunger and starvation in the world offend you, try shifting to a new awareness. Somehow, in some way that I do not comprehend, these things occur in divine order, and so too does my desire to change it exist in divine order. Shed what offends you and act on your desire to make corrections. There will then be no need to fight. Similarly, if you find someone else's behavior offensive, you are interpreting that behavior from your own self-absorbed position, which is that they shouldn't act the way they do. You choose to be offended, hurt, or angry by their behavior. But they are acting the way they are. Your being offended is your ego talking to you to keep you anxious and upset. If you don't take it personally, and if you see the behavior for what it is, you can work to eradicate the evils of the world unimpeded by your ego's encouragement to be offended. Keep in mind that grievances bring turmoil, while communication brings peace. If you want peace in your life, rid yourself of your grievances. The way to shed these grievances is to let go of your own self-absorption and to practice forgiveness rather than revenge. As you let go, you will feel a sense of peace overtaking you. If you are angry towards someone in your life, no matter how difficult you may find it, work at communicating with that person about your aggrieved feelings. Your embarrassment or inner anguish over being wronged is just what your ego wants you to experience. since it will keep you away from your sacred quest and keep you in the clutches of your anxiety-loving ego. Keep this little sentence ready to consult. Judgment and peace are antithetical. A Course in Miracles says the strain of constant judgment is virtually intolerable. It is curious that an ability so debilitating would be so deeply cherished. You must make a daily effort to look upon others without condemnation. Every judgment takes you away from your goal of peace. Your ego loves your judgments because with them you remain in a constant state of anguish and remorse. Keep in mind that you do not define anyone with your judgment. You only define yourself as someone who needs to judge. Judging others with condemnation removes the possibility of your experiencing love. If you can practice just being still rather than condemning, you will get to the bliss I am talking about. You do not have to pretend that you love something that you loathe. Just get still and let the judgments subside. Peace is not found in being right or being hurt or being angry. By all means, work toward righting the wrongs you perceive, but do it with an understanding that an angry heart keeps you from knowing God on the path of your sacred quest. Peace will come to you when you are a healer rather than a judge. Essentially, embracing the truth is welcoming your higher self and coming to know God. All that is not authentic will drop away automatically. Your ego works hard to convince you that you are separate and better than everyone else, and you know that it does not take kindly to your embracing anything that threatens its existence. But remember that this is your inauthentic self, your false self. Deception is going to play a big role in your life when you embrace ego as your guide. Therefore, in order to abandon your reliance on that false self with all of its deception, you will have to make a new agreement with truth. I encourage you to actually write yourself a contract in which you agree to include truth as your companion in your thoughts, in your conversations, and in your life. This is a big challenge and perhaps difficult for you, but it is guaranteed to lead you to the path of your sacred self. Begin by looking honestly and fearlessly at who you are beneath all the surface trappings that you have surrounded yourself with. You have a human storyline, as does every person who has ever lived on this planet. That storyline begins with your conception, continues through your childhood, and all of your personal triumphs and tribulations, right up to this very moment. You know that there is an eternal aspect of you beneath the surface, and that for this part of you, only the truth will suffice. Now you will hear about 3 energy fields and ways of keeping them uncontaminated. The first energy field is your immediate energy body, which I also refer to as etheric or faster. From a standing position, extend your arm forward and mentally note the most distant point where your fingers extend. Now imagine your arm extending straight above your head to a point over your body, and then behind you and beneath you as well. You now have an image of a field of energy which continuously surrounds your body. I call this field your fast energy body, which is inseparable from your solid and visible slower energy body. Using your imagination, take a moment now to visualize this field of faster energy with its edges or boundaries around you. When another person, particularly a stranger, crosses your boundary, you immediately feel as if you've been invaded. You move back instinctively to create a safer distance. Why? Because your energy body feels the invasive force and alerts you with a state of discomfort. If someone remains in your energy body field for an extended period of time, they begin to affect your entire being with their energy, bringing you down if you feel out of sync with them, and raising you up if they resonate to a higher energy vibration than you. I refer to the second energy field as your broader environmental energy field. To get a sense of this physical energy field, think about your energy field extending into your home, your workplace, your family, and your community. The vibrational pattern of this energy field is your broader environmental energy field. This energy field, in which your solid body walks and talks and sleeps and works and plays, is impacted by the energy frequency of whoever enters it. Now I want you to think of a field of energy so immense that you cannot even create imaginary boundaries for it. I call this the mind field energy. Your thoughts and the thoughts of others interact in your mind field in such a way as to raise or lower your frequency of vibration. When the thoughts and feelings of others impinge upon your mind energy field, there will be one of 2 results. Either your energy field will be increased, as is said to have happened when Buddha and Jesus entered a village. Just their presence in the village and nothing more would raise the consciousness of those around them. Or Your energy field will be decreased and consequently become contaminated. The way others think and how they radiate out their thought energy can impact you. But it is not only people who impact your energy fields. Noise levels, air quality, food purity, all touch and affect your fields of energy. What you may not realize is that you play a potent role in keeping your energy fields clean and uncontaminated, and that you also have a salubrious and cleansing effect on the energy field of those around you. Hopefully, you will be motivated to begin implementing a new approach that will clear all of your energy fields and maintain a state of clarity, free of energy patterns that contaminate your life in any way. How do you treat this body, which is the living organism that sends out the waves of electromagnetic energy? What foods do you use to replenish and replace it with? What toxins do you absorb? How much peaceful rest do you provide for it? Do you exercise it regularly? Is your emotional state calm? Do you meditate to bring yourself into harmony with God? Your body must be loved. It is your home and must be cleansed of all junk. Your body is not your enemy. You do not need to get free of your body in order to access spiritual guidance. This perfectly functioning machine called your body knows what is needed, where it is needed, and how to prioritize those needs in times of crisis. You control this marvelously complex instrument that is your home through your thoughts. The second factor that impacts your immediate field of energy is what you allow to impact your body from without. What kinds of people do you allow into your immediate space? When you allow toxic people into your immediate energy field, you will find that your feelings of well-being diminish. You must say goodbye, albeit with unconditional love, to anyone who pollutes your life space with slowed down energy. Or, you must be prepared to stave off the intrusion of lower energy people first by recognizing it, and then neutralizing it by radiating stronger energy yourself. The problem with attempting to continually be a neutralizer is that the effort required often exhausts you, and that level of fatigue makes you susceptible to the lower energies. If someone brings anxiety, shame, depression, fear, whining, complaining, apathy, stress, worry, anger, guilt, or any of the multitude of what I call lower energy patterns, they are inviting you to join in their misery and load your life up with the problems that they live with every day. Resolve to remove yourself from any toxicity that threatens the purity of your life space. When you feel yourself being breached, take immediate action, first by recognizing what is happening, and then moving in counteraction. Consciously send out thoughts of kindness and love. Remove yourself in a conflict-free way from the invading energetic forces. Anyone who you allow to be a regular visitor in your body energy field must come with love, peace, and the higher spiritual energies. The closer you come to being in a dynamic state of grace in your thoughts and refusing to be in the fields of those who are projecting lower energy thoughts, the closer you come to being in God's mind field.
Here are some rules for a healthy imagination. Rule number 1, never place into your imagination any thought that you would not want to materialize. Rule number 2. Rule number 2 is of equal importance. Never allow your imagination to be contaminated by ideas about how your life used to be. You need faith in your power to make the non-existent your reality. Just because you haven't experienced the magic of the non-existent appearing in your daily life is no reason to poison your imagination with the thoughts that got you where you are now or have been for most of your life. I can't help it, I've always been that way are statements indicating how you used your imagination in the past. Now you must be willing to change your concept of yourself, and you cannot do that by hanging on to those old ideas that once were your truths. Those truths have kept you from achieving the complete fulfillment of your dreams. Your imagination can undergo a complete overhaul. Replace the old ideas of, I've always been this way, it's my nature, it's the only thing I've ever known. Replace them with, I am God, I am capable, I am strong, I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am happy. Or use the words of Saint Germain, quote, I am the conquering presence. I command this I am presence to govern perfectly my mind, my home, my affairs, and my world, unquote. Use your imagination for the fulfillment of your God-realized and God-aligned wishes. Expand your imagination beyond the concept of yourself that limits you to ordinary consciousness. Rule number 3 is a strong reminder to you that your imagination is yours and yours alone. It is a vast, boundaryless realm within you that no one else has access to. No one can peer into your imagination and place things in there that they prefer for you, nor can they extract any ideas that are percolating in that grand imagination of yours. Your imagination is your own fertile field for growing any seedlings that you choose to plant for a future harvest. This rule advises you to never allow someone else's ideas about what is possible or impossible for you, how you should be thinking, or who you should be, or anything else to occupy your imagination. Regularly inventory the thoughts in your imagination. Notice how many of those ideas were originally suggested by well-meaning others, dating all the way back to your early childhood, up to and including today. You may have been told that you have always been a dreamer, as if this were a fault. I can speak here from experience. Family, friends, teachers, and even advisors frequently disparaged ideas that burned brightly in my imagination. I often heard comments such as, "Wayne, you're such a dreamer. Get real. You're never going to make it as a writer or a television performer or a movie personality. Be realistic. We know what's best for you." When I was being discharged from the Navy at the age of 22, my superiors warned me that starting college at my advanced age was loaded with uncertainty, particularly since I had no higher education experience and I would be competing with younger, recent high school graduates. Since I already had a skill as a cryptographer in the Navy, they advised me to pursue what they felt was best for me. But I had a dream, an imagination filled with the ideas of teaching and writing and speaking to large audiences. I saw myself on stage. I saw myself as a prominent author, and this vision could not and would not be sabotaged by someone else's vision of what I should or could become. As a young boy in a foster home, I almost always ignored other people's ideas about what I should be thinking or doing. I simply was indifferent to their opinions regarding what I could imagine for myself. I've carried this kind of inner discipline regarding my own imagination with clarity, refusing to allow external opinions to cancel or diminish what for me was hallowed ground. Recently, others advised me that acting in a movie was not sensible for me as a 68-year-old man with no acting experience. I once again remembered to hang the "Do Not Disturb" sign at the entrance to my imagination, and proceeded to take acting lessons and adopt the self-enforced regimen that allowed me to create a movie. It is a product that fills me with pride today, all because I have diligently practiced rule number 3. I urge you to watch The Shift and see what I mean. Never, and I mean never, allow anyone else's ideas of who you can or can't become to sully your dream or pollute your imagination. This is your territory. And a keep out sign is a great thing to erect at all entrances to your imagination. Generally speaking, the viewpoints of other people regarding how you should occupy your imagination involve their own self-interest. Frequently, the inclination to meddle in your imagination is a way to get something for themselves by persuading you of the folly of your dreams. Enlist only those, including yourself, who are primarily interested in what you see or hear in your imagination about your life. Rule number 4. Rule number 4 may surprise you. It concerns what you don't want to let monopolize your imagination. Do not let your imagination be restricted to the current conditions of your life, or what I call being obsessed with what is. Your imagination is unlimited, and if you've opted for an ordinary level of living, it is tempting to stay in what is rather than what you unabashedly intend to manifest for yourself. Keep reminding yourself that everything that you've believed has gotten you to precisely the point where you are now. If you want to elevate your life and become a manifester, then you have to change what you believe to be true about yourself that has landed you exactly where you are today. The sentiments of "this is reality," "this is just the way things are," "there's nothing that I can do to change it," and the like are pernicious thoughts that will taint and defile your great gift of "I am that I am," which is your divine inheritance from your Creator. Just as growth isn't possible if one continues doing things exactly the same today as yesterday and tomorrow, so is your imagination charged with the same challenge. In your imagination, you can replace the thought of "I will one day be in a better place" with "I am already in my mind where I intend to be." This may sound irrational because you are accustomed to evaluating your life on the basis of what your senses tell you is your reality. You can make the choice to reprogram your imagination to take you where you intend to be in the now. Creation originates in the world of spirit, or to say it differently, your imagination is the source of all that has yet to manifest for you. By staying only with what your senses tell you is your reality, you place a barrier to letting your imagination create all that you wish, all that you desire. Your imagination is unlimited. What is today is restricted by just that, what is today.
Another new way of being for me is to think of yourself in terms of personal authority rather than being an authoritarian. Personal authority. A person who has authority never needs to dominate anyone else, ever. Dominating doesn't become necessary. In business, you can have authority. The people who have the most authority are the ones who listen the most, and the ones who are the most conscientious about what do other people have to say. A person in a relationship who has to dominate somebody else and has to make the other person submissive shows that they don't have authority, because they're getting their power not from within for themselves, but on the basis of who they can control. And that never lasts. That never lasts. The only thing that lasts is having inner power, if you will. Know thyself. That's what Shakespeare said. Know thyself. The more you know yourself, the more you become honest with yourself, honesty becomes just a way of life. No, I don't think the world necessarily does, but you can't run your world. You can't run your world based upon what the rest of the people in the world want or don't want. To me, honesty is like, it's a karma that goes out into the world. How people treat you in the world is their karma. How you react is yours. And when you react to it with dishonesty, that's what you're putting out into the world, dishonesty. And when you put dishonesty out into the world, that's what's going to come back to you, because what goes out is what comes back. That all, as you sow, so shall you reap. I mean, it's in every great institution that there is in the world, whether it's a religion or a philosophy or whatever. What you put out is what comes back. Whatever you plant is what you're going to get back. And the more that you put out honesty, just because it's what you are, because you are being honesty, you're not trying to be honest, you're just being honesty, then that's what will come back to you on a regular basis. And when it doesn't, you'll just see that as another test for you to pass. For me, it has become a way of life. It's called serenity instead of acquisitions. The more you try to acquire, the more you try to get, the more you try to collect in your life and evaluate yourself on the basis of that, the less serenity you're going to have. More is less. It's almost a secret of the universe. Serenity means inner peace. It means that you can find joy in every moment that you have in your life instead of always looking for it. It means that while you are driving along the countryside, and seeing, instead of saying, oh, I'm on my way to this point, that you can open your eyes and see it with new eyes. See the rolling mountains, see the grass, see the deer, see the sky. You can just stop wherever you are in this second, wherever you are, and just look around you, and you can begin to appreciate just your surroundings and your environment. Then you can begin to appreciate the people that are in your life, and even the ones that are negative and you're having the most difficulty with. You can practice a new way of being with them, which is sending them love, sending them flowers, send them books, send them a tape, send them something, and just see what kind of reaction that you get. Super emotional health is just an attitude. An attitude is everything. And it's being personally an authority on yourself rather than authoritarian and trying to be dominating someone else or to be dominated. And serenity, which is the name of my little girl, my youngest daughter, Serena, rather than acquisitions and accumulations and trying to prove yourself that way. And when you get that serenity, which comes from the way that you think always, then you will replace all of the other junk that keeps you back here between 6 and 1 on that clock. And once you get past it, you'll never, ever be able to go back. Because the light, living in the light, is a way of being that if you're not there, you don't get it yet, but once you see it, and once it begins to take over your life,
You can never go back. That is your purpose. Your purpose isn't to try to be loving. Your purpose is to be love and only have that to give away.
Choosing to experience peace by focusing on what you are for. You can experience peace by balancing all that transpires around you with God consciousness. There's nothing that requires you to react to evil doing with a non-spiritual mental response. You have a choice to put your mental energy into what you desire, and in so doing, create a new world. Let me tell you how I choose to respond to the bombardment of messages that focus on what's wrong in the world. First, I remind myself that for every act of evil, there are a million acts of kindness. I choose to believe that people are essentially good, and that by staying in this belief system, I help bring more of this consciousness to fruition. When enough of us take on this notion, we'll learn to live collectively in this peaceful awareness. Secondly, I know for certain that no amount of hatred in my heart will ever bring about peace. Hatred will only contribute more to the presence of those human-made destructive energies. So I choose to place my attention on what I am for, and on my feeling good. I support peace, not war. As Albert Einstein once remarked, I am not only a pacifist, but a militant pacifist. Nothing will end war unless the people themselves refuse to go to war. Unquote. I, as a recipient of the Einstein Award from the Albert Einstein College of Medicine of Yeshiva University, would humbly add, and unless people refuse to ever think warlike thoughts. In Long Walk to Freedom, Nelson Mandela wrote, "To make peace with an enemy, one must work with that enemy, and that enemy becomes one's partner." I know that we are all partners with each other. This is how I think. And when I see footage of a world that's in disarray, because many have forgotten this, I still choose to know that we'll ultimately learn to live this way collectively. But it begins with each of us refusing to be instruments of non-peace in all of our thoughts and consequently all of our behaviors. Adolf Hitler's designated successor, Hermann Göring, is quoted in Nuremberg Diary as saying, "Why, of course the people don't want war. But after all, it's the leaders of the country who determine the policy, and it's always a simple matter to drag the people along, whether it's a democracy or a fascist dictatorship or a parliament or a communist dictatorship. Voice or no voice, the people can always be brought to the bidding of the leaders. That is easy. All you have to do is tell them that they're being attacked and denounce the pacifists for lack of patriotism and exposing the country to danger. It works the same way in any country." That was Hermann Göring. I choose not to be one of those people who are dragged along. I refuse to be brought to the bidding of any leader who attempts to convince me that my beliefs in peace make me unpatriotic. When an unidentified Pentagon official was asked why the U.S. military censored graphic footage from the Gulf War, he responded, "If we let people see that kind of thing, there would never again be any war." Well, that's my goal. To live in a world where warlike thoughts are impossible because we're placing all of our mental energy on what we are for rather than on what we hate. Former President Dwight Eisenhower, who was also a commander of the Allies in World War II, once remarked, "Every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies, in the final sense, a theft from those who hunger and are not fed, those who are cold and are not clothed. This world in arms is not spending money alone. It is spending the sweat of its laborers, the genius of its scientists, the hopes of its children. This is not a way of life at all in any true sense." This is a call to get ourselves and our world in balance. Peace demands heroic thinking and a purity of conscience. Third, when I see and hear evil, I remind myself I didn't sign up to come here to be a part of hatred. While others obviously have, I'll remember to stay with the inner sense of peace that calls to me, and I'll surround those who behave in evil ways with the same light energy. I simply refuse to go to war in my thoughts. I choose to be a beacon of light for the places of darkness that are bereft of this kind of illuminating energy. Finally, as the dispatches of violence continue to come my way, I remind myself over and over again that we have a choice in how we respond to all of this. I know that by feeling hateful in response to hate, I only contribute to the presence of hatred in the world. As an ancient Chinese proverb tells us, quote, "If you decide to pursue revenge, you'd better dig 2 graves, unquote. I know that I have a choice to see what's good about the world rather than what has gone wrong. When those communiques of violence and hatred come streaming toward me, I push the mute button or even the off button, and I recall what the Dalai Lama once said. Quote, "Compassion and love are not mere luxuries.
As the source of both inner and outer peace, they are fundamental to the continued survival of our species, unquote. Those are extremely valuable words describing our need to be in balance. I stay balanced on this dimension of being in a peaceful world by saying them over and over and over again. I now know for certain that I'm obliged to stay in a consciousness of compassion and love, not only to maintain my own balance, but to help ensure the continued survival of our species. There can be no greater calling.
All of it is there to teach us something grand and something delightful, and that helps us move to higher and more spiritual places. So the way that you eliminate adversity is literally to be thankful for it and to say thank you for everything that is showing up in my life. It is going to teach me something profound. And some of the most difficult and very troublesome kinds of things that have occurred to me in my life, what I thought were at the time, have taught me how to be a better writer, a better speaker, a kinder person, a better human being. Because true nobility, it's not about being better than other people. It's about being better than you used to be. And the way that you get better at being than you used to be is by having these challenges show up and then transcending them and overcoming them. I don't look back on my days of drinking, which stopped 17 years ago, as anything other than great and wonderful events that helped me. All of that drinking and all of the behavior and the drugs that I did and all of those kinds of things have helped me to become a stronger, more purified, more decent, better human being, better husband, better father, better speaker, better man as a person. Anyway, let me try to get through the rest of these. We just have a few moments left.
Okay.
Were you going to say something, Diane?
Well, I was going to say, do you think people get caught up in the why me kind of mentality?
Yeah, I think they do. Instead of saying, why not me? So thank you. Thank you for all of it, every single bit of it. I mean, there's a slogan here on Maui that says, no rain, no rainbows. So I always remind people of that whenever there's a rainy day and the tourists are all here and they're all upset about the rain. I say, but you see all those rainbows that you just love every day? They have rainbows over here on the island. You can't have them without the rain. And I think it's a good symbol for our lives. One of the things that Gandhi said that's really, I think, very important is that there's more to life than making things go faster and making it always increase our speed. That the idea that we have to get there fast, we have to be ahead of the other person, slowing ourselves down. In the 26th verse of the Tao that I was writing about this morning, it talks about the stillness, about being able to, that stillness is the mother of unrest. In other words, the master of unrest. In other words, in order to be able to get to a place where you are no longer filled with unrest, you have to go to this place of stillness, this place of quiet, this place of peace that is within each and every one of us. And that means not telling yourself that you have to be there ahead of the other guy, not rushing through the traffic lights, but meditating your way through when a yellow light comes, instead of rushing through it, that's just a habit. Instead of that, just slowing down, putting your foot on the brake and saying, thank you for 1 minute to just sit here and be at peace and be kind and be in a sense of harmony with my source, which is always at peace. Also, I said, do everything that you can to eliminate debt in your life, because all of the debt that you have, the credit card debt, the money that you owe the banks, the mortgages, all of those kinds of things are a way of giving up control of your life and putting it into the hands of someone who will be controlling the purse strings of your life. And also to let go of your idea about everything is evaluated on the basis of how much it costs or how much it's worth. Try to take the dollar value off of things and just enjoy everything in your life for what it is.
I'm going through something right now, and I'm kind of wanting to know why all this is happening to me in my life. At 15, my dad died unexpectedly of, an aortic aneurysm, and then I dealt with that somewhat decent. I don't want to say great, but I was only 15. And then I got married, and my husband and I struggled for 4.5 years to get pregnant, with one miscarriage along the way. And we got pregnant in November last year. We found out December 8th. And then on April 4th, we found out that the baby was really sick. Mm-hmm. And I ended up delivering a stillborn on April 19th. Mm-hmm. And I'm just not quite sure why all this is happening and how to get through it.
Yeah, I can hear your pain. First of all, as you move along this path that I'm writing about, especially on inspiration, you find out that all of the greatest teachers who've ever walked among us, including Jesus, all of them, have taught us that death is not a punishment, that it is It is the inevitability of all things, that everything that composes decomposes. And the question isn't whether it's going to decompose. The question that we have as human beings is, how long is it going to take? How much time do we get? When you say the words, my father died unexpectedly, my immediate response to that is unexpected to you.
Yeah.
But not to God, and not, and that the moment that your father was conceived and the moment that he showed up on this planet, his birth was here, independent of his opinion about it, and so was his death. And the same is true of the miscarriages that you've had and the stillbirths that you've had. That there's a perfection in all of this, and that these souls who showed up very, very temporarily, and then for whatever reason that none of us will ever be privy to, weren't ready to show up into this world. What you are doing with it is you're taking it personally. You're saying to yourself, why me? And how could something so terrible as this happen? And how much of this kind of thing do I have to put up with before I'll have peace in my life? And I'm saying to you, have peace in your life now, and even be in a state of gratitude for just the fact that you've been able to participate in the dance of life. You've already created life twice. And because it didn't last as long as you thought it should last, that's just our ego at work.
Let it chase you. Let it follow you instead of being something that you're consumed with having to get. Because the more you're attached to the outcome, the more you're trying to get something that isn't what you really want.
And this idea of knowing that divine intelligence will work in exactly the order and the preference and the time that it is supposed to. In the Course in Miracles, there's this often quoted passage that says, infinite patience produces immediate results. And it sounds like it's a contradiction, doesn't it? It sounds like a paradox. If I'm patient, infinitely patient, then I will have to wait a very long time. And this idea of attempting to hurry along the divine intelligence is something that we do with our egos all the time. Obviously, creation reveals its secrets by and by, as it is supposed to, as it is ordained. This principle of detaching ourselves from outcome, along with having infinite patience, is really essential to your manifestation process. It is inconsistent with what we have a tendency to think is the way things should be working. Because if I do everything that I'm supposed to, if I follow all of these principles and I set down all of the rules and I get it all organized, then I expect that I'll have results. That's the time in our lives that I referred to earlier in the very first principle of being the warrior, going from the athlete to the warrior. That's the time in our lives when we set our goals. And there's nothing wrong with setting goals. I've written about it and talked about it on many programs right here at Nightingale Conant and in many of my books. But the idea of thinking that setting goals and then just going about and having them show up is still the thinking that keeps us sort of stuck back at the warrior phase of our development. It inhibits us from moving to higher places wherein we can begin to manage the coincidences of our lives, which sounds like a contradiction, doesn't it? If it's a coincidence, you can't manage it. If you're managing it, then it's not a coincidence. But when you begin to transcend some of these paradoxes, when you reach a higher level. So setting goals is one thing, and it's something that we do in the earlier stages of our spiritual development. And we continue to do it. And these stages that I talked about earlier are not things that we go into and then never go back to. We go back, we come out of it, we go back. We're always moving in and out of these stages. The question is, what is my primary emphasis? Is my primary emphasis not only on setting goals, but in falling in love with those goals, and then insisting that those goals show up when I want them to show up? That is inconsistent with manifestation and with spirituality and higher consciousness. What you have to do
is have your goals, which is what a tomato seed is. It's really a goal for tomatoes. But you have to then relax and turn your thoughts and your ideas and your consciousness and your awareness to your own purpose and know in your heart that it will manifest. You see, the key to relaxing about what it is that you would like to see manifested is the certainty of the outcome. If you have a certainty, as it says in the Course in Miracles, if you have a certainty of the outcome, patience is easy. If you are uncertain of the outcome, if you're not sure how it's going to work out, or if things are going to fall into place the way you would like them to, if you have that uncertainty, then you will not be able to be patient. So patience, infinite patience, is really like a trusting in God. And when you trust in God, you're trusting in the wisdom that created you. And when you trust in the wisdom that created you, you're trusting in yourself as well. Because you can never be separate from that wisdom. So patience and trust and awareness and higher consciousness are absolutely essential